everyone, I'm Gabbie, and Joreen asked me to film a video for Rebel Women Lit's YouTube talking about the books that I want to read that come from their library. So if you don't know, Rebel Women Lit does have a library that you can write to, well not write to, but you can register on their website to request a book and then they arrange to get it to you. So I've done that a couple times and she asked me to do this video just talking about some of the books that they have in their collection that I'm looking forward to reading. So I've picked out these four. These Ghosts Are Family by Maisy, A Tall History of Shobha by Curdella, Forbes, The Confessions of Frannie Langton by Sara and Girls Burn Brighter by Shobha. So first up is These Ghosts Are Family by Maisy, and I have to confess I have already read it, so it's no longer on my to-be read list but on my read list. I kind of couldn't wait. In fact, this book and A Tall History of Sugar I had already requested from the library before Joreen had even approached me about doing the video, so I was like, well, it's perfect because I actually do want to read these two along with the others, but these two were definitely in my list to read quickly. So These Ghosts Are Family, I'm going to just read a little bit. After giving up his fight against the arthritis that now leaves him wheelchair-bound, Stanford Solomon decides the time has come to reveal his 35-year-old secret. In the early 1970s, a man named Abel Paisley left Jamaica for England in search of fortune. Not long after Abel's arrival in London, his childhood friend, whom he had been working alongside on a cargo ship, dies tragically. Abel Paisley makes a choice. He decides to steal his friend Stanford's identity and fake his own death, consequently forsaking the young family he left behind in Jamaica. Like, in what world does that happen? But the way the author has written it, it's completely believable and you're just like, oh yeah, that totally sounds like a Jamaican man to just forsake his family. No offense to like all my male friends who I love very much. But that kind of piques my interest and made me want to read it. So I read it, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was definitely a good book, and there is also a little bit of kind of ghost eerie-esque feel to it too, so that was really good. Next up, A Tall History of Sugar by Curdella, Forbes. And so when I first heard the title and saw the book, I wasn't that interested. I mean, I studied history in Jamaica, you know, you do so much on slavery and the history of sugar because that's like such a big part of who we are. So I was kind of like, okay, it kind of sounds like a history book, so I wasn't that interested. But then I was listening to the Rebel Women Lit podcast, like a real book club, and they were talking about it with the author, and I was like, oh wait, this book is not what I thought it was. And then I also listened to the podcast episode where they were discussing the book as a book club, and I was like, no, but this book needs a reader. So that was why I ended up adding this one to my list. So let me just give you a little tips of what it's about. A Tall History of Sugar tells the story of Moshe Fisher, a man who was born without skin, so that no one is able to tell what race he belongs to. And Ariane Christie, his chaotic soulmate, who makes it her duty in life to protect Moshe from the social and emotional consequences of his strange appearance. I mean, that's kind of mysterious, like a man born without skin. And when you think about the times that we're in and just like the racial tensions and all of that, it's kind of interesting to hear about a story where someone's just unidentifiable. And then listening to the podcasts that really give you enough that make you want to read the book but without giving too much away. So check this out. Next up. Then, Confessions of Frannie Langton. So this one got so much hype in just like the bookish community, Bookstagram, Booktubers, like all the international media were talking about it, NPR, The Guardian, Washington Post, and Sara, the author, she is of Jamaican descent and grew up in Grand Cayman, so very Caribbean, kind of just said, okay, yeah, I have to read it. Like I didn't even know what it was about or anything at the time. And then I was checking it out and here's what it's about. All of the London is abuzz with the scandalous case of Frannie Langton, who is accused of the brutal double murder of her employers, renowned scientist George Benham and his eccentric French wife Marguerite. Crowds pack the courtroom, eagerly following every twist, while the newspapers print lurid theories about the killings and the mysterious woman being held in the Old Bailey. So another cool thing about the author, she's a lawyer. Like, professionally a lawyer, worked for 17 years, and then went and did a master's in creative writing. Like, talk about goals. she does have the insights to give you like the interesting background in the courtroom scenes. And then Frannie is also Jamaican, so it goes into her story as well, and like her background and kind of everything that's led to this point. So I'm very intrigued and cannot wait to read this one. And last but definitely not least, Girls Burn Brighter by Shobha Rao. So Shobha Rao is an Indian American author, and the book is set in India and America. And I'm a sucker for books set in India, thanks to The Space Between Us that I read a million years ago. Ever since, I just kind of love all books set there, doesn't matter where. I'm also really into Indian shows, and yeah. So the book is an electrifying debut novel by the author, and it tells the story of the unbreakable bond between two girls driven apart and their journeys across continents to find each other again. Purnima and Savita, born in poverty, have known little kindness in their lives until they meet as teenagers. When an act of devastating cruelty drives Savita away, Purnima leaves behind everything she has ever known to find her friend. So I can only imagine what happens, and I think based on the blurb, it's kind of set in India, and then who knows, she might have ended up in the US. But I'm really looking forward to reading this one, and I hope you're interested too. So just to recap, Girls Burn Brighter by Shobha Rao, The Confessions of Frannie Langton by Sara Collins, A Tall History of Sugar by Curdella Forbes, and These Ghosts Are Family by Maisy. So if you are interested in borrowing these, Rebel Women Lit Library has them. You just go to their website and you go to the library page, request the books, and they'll get in touch with you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching. Bye!